Okay, everyone. Thank you for the couple messages coming in to start with, and we will go ahead and get started. This is just scheduled for a quick half hour. As you'll see here with the agenda, that we'll spend a few minutes talking about the updates we have to share with the community, and then for the rest of the time, I will take questions and answers. Please enter your questions as they come up into the Q&A portion of the Zoom room, and then from there we will address those at the end of the webinar. I really encourage you guys to ask anything that comes up. This will be recorded and shared with anyone who was unable to attend, so that will also help them as well if we can get a good set of questions going at the end to make sure that everyone gets the answers that they're looking for, so that we can all move into 2023 kind of on the same page and excited for the program. So I just wanted to start this with kind of just a quick statement for me about PSC's commitment to continuous improvement. The accreditation program, we require our companies to commit to continuous improvement, and I just want everyone to know that we are committed to that as well. So part of the updates that I am going to share are going to be new requirements to the standards of the program, and so I just want you guys to know that those are in the spirit of continually moving the industry forward and the companies that are in the program to help them to continue to be leaders and to see kind of the results of the hard work that we're all putting in to really assess and verify our operations. We're deeply grateful for your commitment to a more sustainable pet industry, and we promise to continue to move in that same direction with you. Okay, so new update coming for the program is we are now moving to a 2-year verification cycle. What this means is that companies are now required to complete the program's verification process every 2 years. For example, if you completed your most recent verification in 2022, then you will be required to complete verification again in 2024. Same thing goes that if your last verification was in 2021, then you will complete verification this year in 2023. So why every 2 years? Through the verification process in the last couple of years, we have learned that it really takes 2 years for companies to be able to engage with the verification process, to implement the continuous improvement needed, and to measure and report on that improvement. Also, as the program continues to grow, then this cycle will give us the ability to continue to expand the program and to also focus on the marketing and promotions benefits that are promised as part of participation in the PSC accreditation. Next update to share with you guys is going to be increased score requirements. So as in previous years, we had a lower score requirement on the baseline module, and we are now increasing that to 25 points on the baseline module. So companies will continue to be required to meet this minimum score, and whereas there used to be some flexibility in whether or not you achieved that score on the baseline, or if it was combined in the other modules that you completed, you now will be required to have that score on the baseline regardless of your scores in the other modules. Next update is that companies must achieve a combined 50 on their environmental and social modules. We still will maintain the flexibility here to spread that across the 2 modules and make up those points between the 2 in whatever way that you do. So if you were, for example, had a 30 on one module and a 20 on the other, that would still qualify you for the accreditation. Or it could be an even split, or you could have the other module weighted more than that, but there needs to be a combined score of 50. So all this comes together to have a new required score of 75, which we think is a good progression for the program, increasing the rigor. And since the program, as you all know, is developed and runs kind of with the support of B Lab. We feel that given the B Corp requirements, that this will set companies up if they meet the score on the Action Manager, if they want to achieve B Corp certification, or if that's a goal, then we are continually moving in support of that ultimate goal and in alignment with B Lab's requirements for the B Corp certification. So just a question here you may have is, what if my current scores are below the new requirements? All companies that are currently accredited will have until their next verification to meet these new requirements. So by the time you apply for your verification, so if you completed verification in 2022, then by the time you apply for your 2024 verification, then you will have need to made the changes and implementations to get your score up to this point. And this is where your PSC member services liaison can help you with this as well. You can go in together during your SDG review, and then you can kind of come up with a game plan to make sure that you are in line to meet these new requirements if that is something that is in question at your current scores. Also, kind of a new final update is that we are going to require all companies for their base of their accreditation to have verified and completed modules 8 and 12. SDG 8 is around economic growth and opportunity. So this will be the social module. And we find that this is a really good representation of where a lot of the companies in the pet industry are at and aligns well with the changes that they are making. SDG 12 is the environmental goal around responsible consumption and production. So also in that same vein, very well aligned with the pet industry and the kind of to the needs of the companies that we are working with. So reasons for doing this, these are two of the most completed modules amongst the pet industry and other companies in broader industries. And also, we feel that requiring the same modules for everyone will really give us a great basis for comparison as we are doing recognition, making awards, deciding on top performance. So you may have a question, what if my company previously verified other modules? We will still track those modules and use them on a need-to-need basis for kind of different offerings and highlights, but you will need to update and complete modules 8 and 12 by the time of your next verification. So similar to the score requirements, those updates do not have to be made at this moment, but they will need to be made by the next time that you verify. So last thing to cover here are program costs. The program fee will still be collected on an annual basis in support of administering the accreditation program and the marketing and promotions benefits. But the verification, like I said, will only be every 2 years. So the costs, like I said, will remain the same. And then on the verification years, then part of that fee will go towards the verification costs. How do I proceed with renewal? So the PSC team will reach out 1 month ahead of your accreditation date to confirm invoicing details if you're in a non-verification year. And then if you're in a verification year, we will reach out 3 months ahead of time to go ahead and get started and connect on the update to the assessment. And then we will go with the verification from there. So after the webinar, I will be sending out a recording as well as a copy of these slides and a little FAQ PDF that summarizes these changes as well, and then has some links and frequently asked questions. So these links you will be able to access in the follow-up, and we will also have the recording with that as well. So I want to take just the next few minutes to answer any questions that you guys may have. I see a couple coming in the chat here, and I will stop sharing my screen in order to answer those questions. Okay, so first question we got here is, do we need to have 25 points each in 8 and 12, or can we have 25 points in other modules and have lower scores on 8 and 12? Thank you for the question, Christine. That is a great question. So you will need to have a combined 50 points on SDG 8 and 12. So that is to say that you could have 30 on SDG 8 and 20 on 12, but they will need to combine for a total of 50. And then your overall score for the baseline and those two modules will be need to be at a 75. And like I said, after that first year of updating to 8 and 12, if those are not already the modules that you've completed and verified, we will still have opportunities to, as part of your updates after meeting that baseline requirement, to use those other modules and points, and we can verify changes and updates there. And then as over the next few years, we will use those other modules for different types of recognition and for campaigns, but the baseline to be in the program, you will need to have completed 8 and 12 and verified those. Okay, next question. If a company last accredited with 2 different modules, the next accreditation requires 4. Is that correct? So no, the next accreditation, you will update and complete modules 8 and 12 and verify those along with your baseline. So it'll still just be those 3 modules that are there that are being verified. Okay, so another question, if someone was accredited in 2022 and then for 2023, one needs just to pay the bill to become accredited in 2023, is that correct? Yes. So if you completed your last verification in 2022, then for 2023, we will just invoice and collect the program fee. All the benefits will be the same from year to year, but the verification process will just be every other year. Okay, well, those are the questions that I got from everyone. Oh, I have another one coming in. To clarify, is the number of points for the modules, not the overall score percentage, is that correct? When I'm looking at the Action Manager now, it shows our overall percentage at the top of the model. Yes, so there can be a very slight difference between the way that the points are calculated and the percentage, but since most modules are out of 100 points, the percentage and the point score can be used interchangeably. Okay, do we have any more questions? All right, well, if there are no more questions, we can go ahead and wrap up there. And like I said, oh, awesome, got another question. Are there any other requirements when it comes to measuring continuous improvement, or only baseline 8 and 12? Thank you, Tyler, for that. So with the continuous improvement, we just require that year over year, either your scores on the baseline 8 or 12 go up from any focus areas for implementation that you've had, or also after you have verified modules 8 and 12, then you will be able to expand into other modules to demonstrate that continuous improvement. All right, let's see, we have another question here. If one wants to improve on their prior SDG scores, you can, even if not 8 and 12, correct? Yes, absolutely. So if you want to continue to track and record your improvement in other modules, that is definitely encouraged. And if you are a member with PSC, then that will also be something that is included in your member benefits to continually review and go over those improvements in other modules and to get recommendations from the PSC team. And then also, like I said, after updating to 8 and 12, we can go back to verifying score improvements in other modules. Okay, well, I will give it just another minute or so to see if we have any other questions come in, because these are great and I want to make sure we keep answering them. And then if no other questions come in, then I will give you guys back a few more minutes into your day, which hopefully will be okay with you. And you will receive all of this information in a follow-up after the webinar. Yes. As you can see, earlier I put up the info at petsustainability.org. I will put that in the chat. That is going to be the best way to ask questions and receive answers about the program or any of the updates. I'm putting that address in the chat now. All right, well, it looks like we have gotten to all of the questions. So I really appreciate you guys joining today. Feel free to share the updates with your team after they are emailed in a follow-up. And we are always here for questions and encourage them. And we look forward to an exciting another year in the PSC Accreditation Program. Thanks, everyone.